Peace. Today is Monday, November 12th, making today's math.
Knowledge, wisdom, all being born to understanding.
That's right. Knowledge is to know. Wisdom is the way, the act of doing, and understanding is the result of the two. Peace. Peace. Welcome back to the Not a Mean Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar.
I'm Digger.
We got my man Rage Cage in the house.
Present.
Alex on the boards.
What's going on?
My man Harold behind the cameras on the editing.
Yep.
Yeah. So we back.
Word.
Another week. You on your red and black shit?
Yeah, man. Getting cute for our godcasters.
Let's go to the master camera.
Thigh high red boots.
She got the thigh high boots on, y'all. I know that I can.
And the shoulder. Oh shit.
I can only imagine.
I don't know where I was going with
this. The comments
this.
is gonna be like, big boy getting jealous over here. He's getting hot and jealous at the same time.
I did this for you, Ray.
He likes what he sees, but he knows that it's gonna bring too much heat in the comments, and it's gonna bring a lot of pressure and competition.
I'm ready for the smoke. I'm built for it.
It's okay, boo. You got my shoulder over here. They ain't even getting the
shit.
shoulder. The shoulder is all for you.
Back. I get a shoulder. That's fair.
I love it. I'm plugging this in. Okay. Well, anyway. So today, holy shit, this hardly ever happens to me.
Hello?
Wow, that's usually me.
This is Sadat.
Where was
Put
you
it on
last night?
speaker. We
Put it
want to
on
hear. We
speaker.
want to
Last night,
hear.
Yo, Dottie. We filming the Godcast.
Why you tell her?
X.
I got you on speaker and shit.
Go ahead, man. I know it's gonna be crazy. Go ahead. I'm coming to the next one.
He said he coming to the.
What up, Sadat?
X.
You hear that? Rage and Digger said, "What up?"
Is that Rage Cage?
That's
It's
Rage Cage.
All right, that's what it is. I'll be at the next one, man. Go ahead, do that. I'll call you later.
Okay.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Okay.
That was cute. Shouts out to
Shout out to
Brand new
Sadat
view.
X. Let me turn my ringer off now.
Yo, X be having the crazy posts, man.
Oh, he's. X is one of the funniest dudes that I know, like,
Yes.
on the low. Like,
Yes.
he's like a fucking comedian on the low. You just got to really know him and shit. But some of his posts reflect that. Shout out to my man, Dottie Boy. So, today, the day that we're actually taping, I know, this is coming out on the 12th, but the day that we're actually taping is the 7th. First of all, today is my son's born day. Shout out to my son, Kyrie. Peace, young God. I love you.
Happy born.
God Day.
But today, yeah. Come on, that's kind
Damn.
of deep, right? And my daughter's born on the 11th, not for nothing.
Oh, knowledge.
All being born to wisdom.
Right on.
But anyway, 111. But anyway,
Okay.
so this is the day after the midterm elections.
Right.
Had. And
Shouts out for the Democrats getting the House back.
well, that's what happened. The Republicans, kept a hold of the Senate.
Right.
Yes, and the Democrats gained control of the House, the Congress.
Right.
Now, first of all, did you vote?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I voted as well. And I put a post up on, my Instagram stating that I voted, And, a lot of people, yeah, Lord Jamar, that's right. You talk the talk, blah, 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 walk the walk. But a lot of people are like, I am surprised at you, Lord Jamar. I didn't think that you would vote and all this time. I mean, they act like I fucking kissed a white man or some shit. It was fucking crazy. Like, I said, listen, it's just voting is a waste of time and da-da-da-da-da. In my post, I specifically stated, too, that unlike the general election for the president, where there's a lot of fuckery that goes on with the electoral college
Right.
and all of that. These midterm elections are actually
The votes that matter.
the votes that matter, the ones that actually affect your everyday life. So you had people say, do you think you're going to destroy white supremacy with the vote? No, I don't.
No,
I
but
don't
you're not going to by not voting either.
Right, and here's the thing. You act like, motherfucker, oh, it's such a waste of time. Motherfucker, you act like you not wasting time out here? Like you're not on your fucking phone right now flipping through your IG commenting on the fact that I went to vote. Is that a waste of time? Like, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. Like, so what were you doing while everybody else was voting? Were you planning some sort of revolution or you understand what I'm saying? Doing some sort of community work? No. You was at your crib, fucking being a keyboard fucking warrior, talking bullshit about some motherfucking shit that you don't even fully understand. I'm nobody's fucking slave. I don't give a fuck about, do I really believe in this country's democracy? No. But in the meantime, in between time, till we get certain shit right, motherfucker, you need to do something rather than sit on your fucking ass. Like I wasn't voting. My vote yesterday wasn't to take down white supremacy. I just wanted my public advocate. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I wanted to maybe, the mother comptroller who deals with the money. Maybe I said I want this motherfucker instead of that motherfucker. Like little simple shit. There was some shit on the New York bill about, limiting term limits and shit like that. Because your boy Bloomberg, years ago had made it to where, you can go 3 terms instead of 2. And that's some bullshit. We don't want these motherfuckers in there forever. So there was a referendum on the back of the ballots to get rid of that. And the shit's passed immediately. There was no electoral college. It's not nothing about, taking down white supremacy and all this bullshit. It was about some immediate shit that actually can affect your everyday life.
Right.
So I'm just saying, I'm not sitting here like.
I don't understand the people that campaign so hard against voting. Like, feel how you feel, but like, I have yet to see someone offer a truly valid explanation of why not to vote. Now, I see people say, hey, I really don't care in the voting system, but just the simple fact that our parents and our grandparents fought so hard for that right, I'm going to do it just on the strength. Like, at least have some viable reason of why not to vote. Because to me, it makes no sense to just sit back and complain about everything wrong in the world and not attempt to do anything about it, starting with voting.
So go ahead.
I mean, I don't have a valid reason why not to vote per se, but I would like to introduce one particular thing to the argument, just to create some balance. So the question I would pose to the room is, if Martin Luther King, that we knew and cherished, if he was alive today, would he be participating in this election system? Think about it. What do you think?
You mean as like running for an office, or like being
advocating votes, driving people
voting?
to vote, falling into the system, and definitely getting into the whole Democrat versus Republican issue and cult of personality, the Trumpism, all that. Do you think Dr. King, as we know him today, using deductive reasoning from his policy and what he truly believed, do you think he would be engaged in the system today?
I think he would. I think if if more leaders like that would have survived that time period, there may have even been, they would have possibly even introduced another party outside of the Democrats and the Republicans.
I don't attempt to speak for Dr. King. All I'm saying is it's a valid argument to consider that, first of all, what he was doing during the civil rights era, they looked at those things as a strategy. Mm-hmm. And strategies are temporary. They're not permanent. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, his argument at the point in time, because of the limitation of what people could take on, limited the struggle within the civil arena. Civil means local, which binds you to the laws. All right. So he was pretty much saying, look, power system, here's the Constitution. Here's what you say you believe. Let's start there. It was your own Constitution. But him and Malcolm X, before they died, they were taking their fight to the international community and petitioning the United Nations. Because at a certain point, they realized that the system that we know it had some serious contradictions that could not really be used as an effective tool for complete constructive change. Now, the local thing, I'm all with that. That's strategic. That makes complete sense. But delivering people to like the feet of the power structure and completely depending on the whole 1-2 between the Democratic and Republican hype for means of liberation, I don't think Dr. King would have co-signed that.
Well, hold on a second before you go any further. Can you address going like the economic route instead of the political?
What do you mean
Specifically, like for instance, like Asians or Jewish people, they control the economic structure as far as like first before going to political, because political is really run by money.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
this is true. Politics is run by money. You know, they're symbiotic. They go together. Well, first of all, shout out one of our viewers, Tosh. She's answering the question. She said, no, he would not. Unless he knew his money was funding the candidate and representing the cause, he might start his own party.
That's what I just said.
Yeah. Well, you said you thought he would be a part.
No, he asked if he were alive, would he be a part of that? I said if he or more leaders like him would have survived that era, he probably would have been one to start his own. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a valid argument for that, I believe. It's funny Harold mentioned economics. I mean, politics is economics. Dr. King wrote a book. And what cracked me up is that people always go to the I Have a Dream speech, but they never actually follow the man's words or really read his doctrine. And that's why I would even pose the question that I did. Dr. King wrote a book called Community or Chaos. Where do we go from here? The book was economics. You know what I mean? The whole book was, listen, this would make people act the way they do, money. And he wrote out different patterns and different ways and suggestions to divvy the resources in the country. And that was beginning to be his politic. What eventually got him killed was what he was doing with the sanitation workers, you know, which was economic. And eventually he was going to do another march that was, you know, talking about, you know, introducing a new economic, you know, position to the world. That's what got him killed. Economics, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
I'm about to bring a viewer on.
I was gonna say I wish Foxy Alex was here. She actually just she would have been here, but she was so tired. Like she literally just worked the last 24 hours nonstop covering this stuff.
We're gonna bring a viewer on to chime in on this.
But you're still cute,
Make
nigga.
sure
You're
your
cute.
stuff is turned
smart.
down. Because we don't want no egg. Tosh, how are you?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm like I can't hear, but I don't have my headphones on. Oops.
Yeah, put your headphones.
My bad, y'all. I just had a brain fart there. There we go. Hey.
How you doing?
Gang gang.
So you see, we're here. We're having a political discussion, and we're talking about, you know, to vote or not to vote. That is the question.
Yeah. I think it's definitely been a subject that has evolved over the course of Black historical history and what we have found to be our true power in the system of U.S., you know, fuckery, white supremacy. The nation is built on a system that has relied upon our participation as a leverage to erect all of these structures. And yet when we've given our vote, it has not consistently translated into that power being rewarded back to us. We have not attained. I remember that, the ballot or the bullet speech with Malcolm X And it was so powerful, and he really breaks it down. It's, knowledge is timeless when you can apply it to a portion of time, because the same craziness is still in existence. It's not like it's gone away. It's only evolved and transformed into different shades of oppression. So if we don't understand how our vote is really used, I feel like we just need to be more selective about where we give it to. It's so precious. It's almost like you hear people that will just give their vote because it's a woman, or because they're black. They have lots of melanin. So we know that there's something about the connection, but that is not always the case. Just because it's your skin folk, don't make it your kinfolk. And it's just a lot of, I feel like now more than ever, we are having to wake up to that reality that our vote doesn't necessarily translate into the power that we would hope it to be. It doesn't mean don't vote.
I was just gonna ask you that. Do you feel like voting is a waste of time? Because I mean, we've seen just with the way Trump got into office, and even yesterday there were so many reports of all these ballot machines messing up, and now all of a sudden the ballot tickets getting rained on is misreading them. So there's always some kind of muck and shit when it comes to actually counting them up. But I still feel like we need to vote nonetheless.
I mean, I think it depends on what vote it's for. Like, again, for me, these midterm elections, this deals with more of, your everyday life. These are people that I can actually go downtown and barge into this motherfucker's office if I want to. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas when you're voting for a president and all that, I can't even get to this nowhere. That's when now you're dealing with lobbyists and all of that type of shit. So I think there's different levels of government, and I feel like the local government is more where your voice can be heard.
That's deep.
You see what I'm saying? And so I advocate, using your voice more in local government, because I agree. I don't feel like our vote is being used properly as far as in major elections and all that type of stuff. And we need to figure this shit out.
I would like to offer, at the risk of heresy, a Christian quote when they said, Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar that which is Caesar." If you look at it from a political level, it was like Christ was on his ministry and he wasn't dealing with what was happening with the Romans and the politics of the day. But when that heat came on, it was like, oh, get that man his quarter. You know what I mean? Let's do that, because that's relevant now for what I'm trying to do. It didn't mean that he was co-signing the whole Caesar machine. So he just acted, as it was according to his need at that point. So I think that's similar to what you talk about local politics. Also, the thing you said about term limits was interesting. There's a lady named Naomi Klein. She wrote a book called Shock Doctrine. And what that means is that politicians use the impetus of like destruction and shock as a means to change law. And that's what Bloomberg did, the 9/11 thing. Wait a minute, you guys need me. Let me hang around a little longer, And the Patriot.
Who was in Giuliani was in office at that time, and everybody was just ready to kick him to the curb, and it seemed like he just handled 9/11 with such style and grace that he won everybody's favor again.
He wanted to hang around. The Patriot Act. What was interesting, I remember when 9/11 happened, and I was watching the news very scientifically, and there was some people from the American Civil Liberties Union, and they had just come out of Congress complaining. It was like, we don't understand. All the laws that we've been keeping at bay, all of a sudden is getting passed because 9/11.
Right.
So.
Because fear will do that. Tosh, you have anything else you'd like to add to the conversation before we go to break?
Thank you. I appreciate hearing everybody's take on it. I just feel like, America is really, really good at convincing us that the enemies that they themselves have created for us are worth fighting against with the same tactic, the same tools that they also gave us. It's almost like you're like a puppet within a show that, you're being given all these tools to participate in the game, but the only way to really transcend it is going outside the game. I love what was mentioned about, the 9/11. And I mean, if we look at all the wars and everything that these politicians have been a part of, if you research it closely, there's always a hidden hand. There's always some other, like, it's not a conspiracy theory. There's something real about why we went to
Bin
war.
Laden was one of our soldiers, like just all type of shit.
It's really deep, but it's so deep and convoluted that it gets simple when you can just kind of spot like that. It's just anything I see on TV is not cut and dry. I feel like there's just always, that's just the facade. It's always, you got to dig deeper to really get to the real truth. And I love when Rage said, when you understand the premise of white supremacy, there's no more confusion. You know to base it first and foremost on that, because that has not been deconstructed well enough.
Well, see, and that's what I'm saying. Like, until this whole system of white insanity, because I don't like to call it supremacy, until this whole system of white insanity is disassembled, you're always going to have symptoms of a sickness. You see, the illness, we're not treating the real illness, which is white insanity. And this whole system needs to be revamped. And, that doesn't mean that we have to violently kill everybody or anything to do this. I'm just saying it needs to be redone. If you really want to keep it real, and y'all white people want to act like y'all some real humans and you've elevated yourselves, well then keep it real. This whole system is fucked. Let's fucking rework this shit and see if we can come up with something new.
You know what's funny? Stickman once told me from Dead Prez, he was like, look, we don't got to wait for reparations, white people. Look, you don't got to wait for the law to pass. You see a black bear on the street, let's break them off.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just chip them off. Like,
Next time you see me sitting in Del Frisco's, just pay my bill. PTB squad.
Well, Tosh, thank you for coming on and giving us your input on the subject. We appreciate you always here at the Godcast.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate y'all.
You're welcome. Peace.
Peace, sis.
And with that, I think we're gonna take a break and we'll be right back. Peace. It's the absence of all confusion. United we stand, divided we fall. Two fingers together is the real peace sign, y'all. Brand Nubian peace gear. Hoodies. T-shirts. Snapbacks. Available at hoodcheat.com. Get yours today.